Welcome to the Spa Business Mastery Podcast. My name is Kirsten Foss, and today we are talking about spa leadership. Because, dear spa owner, I have heard from far too many of you lately that you are feeling like bad leaders. And I feel it's really important that we have a perspective shift about this. Because if we're just getting down on ourselves about, we're a bad this or we're not good at that does not help you or your business move in a positive direction at all. It just keeps you in this negative feedback loop, meaning you see you start seeing proof that you are not a good spa owner. So we want to break that negative feedback loop, and we're going to break that today by having some very clear awareness about spa leadership. All right. So I know already that you are a visionary type of person, because you wouldn't actually have opened up a spa business unless you had that visionary characteristic about you. And when we have really big ideas, they have to be grounded in structure and they have to be grounded in systems. Otherwise, we've just got all these ideas and we don't necessarily bring them into action steps, and we don't necessarily actually always finish them. Being a visionary means you're a really great starter, and sometimes it's hard to be a finisher, which I think you could probably relate to. So if you are feeling stuck in your business, like you just can't seem to get any more bookings, the team is flat, you're having a hard time recruiting really solid team members, the KPIs are flat, you're frustrated because it's just not moving in an upward direction. Well, in order to move to this next stage of growth, I'm going to say it again. You've heard me say it before. What got you here will not get you to this next stage. Guarantee you. The skills that got you here are limited to the skills that got you here. So that means you just need to learn more skills. Now, as far as spa leadership and feeling stuck, I want to help you identify what that might be looking like. And when you're feeling stuck, it is literally your business asking you to do something different. Okay, listen to it. Your business is literally the best life coach you could actually ever have. And you don't have to pay for a therapist. Your business will point out to you the areas in your life that need looking at and changing, letting go of the old ways that just didn't work, and moving into a new paradigm of your own leadership. Okay. So if you're feeling stuck, you might be having some stinking thinking going on about, I'm not a good leader, I'm a terrible leader, I'm not good with people, I'm not good at leading people. Like, even if you have natural self-leadership, personal leadership, when you're faced with leading people and leading a business, that can be a really big responsibility, and start that negative feedback loop. You might also recognize, as far as needing some support and structure in your leadership, that maybe your team members or maybe clients give you pushback, and you freeze, you don't know how to handle it. And maybe you are softening some boundaries because you don't know how to do that. You may be finding bookings are just inconsistent. You can't seem to get this kind of happening on a consistent basis. You might find also the retail sales are low. Low bookings, low retail sales are often a symptom of lack of systems and structure and needing support in your leadership. Not to say you're a bad leader. You just need training and support. All right. The bottom line is, when we are in this place of stuckness with our spa leadership, if you aren't reaching your own potential as a leadership, it's impossible for your business to reach its potential. So my conversation today with you is to let you know that it's okay that you don't feel like a great spa leader, but to be aware that a choice must be made at some point to either the choices, and if you don't make a choice, that's a choice too. The choice to either learn stronger systems, stronger spa management systems to support your leadership and your team and your business and your sales, or you choose to not do nothing and stay the same. Both are choices. Even if you don't make the choice, to say, I'm not going to do anything. If you just passively don't do anything, that's a choice. All right. So being in a leadership role isn't easy. I don't think it's easy in any profession, even if you have strong natural leadership, because when it comes to leading people and leading a business, and if, like I said, if you don't have the leadership skills and systems to support you, it makes it really, really, really challenging. And on top of that, as a spa owner, you likely didn't receive any formal leadership training. Most of the time, we have learned our leadership skills through watching our mentors or our leaders in the industry. And Lord knows, we've all had really, really bad leaders. We've also had some really wonderful leaders. But the spa industry has been like the blind leading the blind in leadership for decades and decades and decades. So when you look at it that way, I hope that it gives you some grace for how you're feeling. It's not your fault at all. You just, it just isn't part of the spa industry as far as formal leadership training. You have to seek it out after your education. Okay. So I don't want you to beat yourself up about not being a good leader, because that is not true at all. It's just a skill. And when it's just a skill to learn, just like you learned aesthetics, it takes a decision, right? You made a decision to become an esthetician, to become a cosmetologist. You paid your money, you put in your time, and you become an esthetician. It's the same thing for your leadership. It needs training, it needs guidance by a mentor, it needs ongoing support to make sure that you're on the right track. And it needs protocols, spa management protocols. I mean, think about it. If you have a team, you wouldn't train your team without protocols. You wouldn't actually just dump them onto the floor taking clients without your particular protocols. I mean, I know there's plenty of spas that do that, but if you're a spa that has a training program, when you look at the comparing like how you would train a team member with protocols and that kind of and coaching, think about what you've done for yourself. Do you have spa leadership protocols that can guide you, that keep the business on the rails? It keeps you on the rails. It keeps your spa manager on the rails. It gives that structure and support so that there's no questions about how things are done. And the things that are done the same way, same time, by everybody in the business. Okay. So really what I'm saying, and I'm saying it over and over, and I will continue to say it over and over, don't beat yourself up about feeling like a bad leader. It is just simply a skill that you need to learn. Now, one of the things that I know that the people that I've worked with and spoken with have really appreciated is that I have created a spa manager manual. And I actually created this. It was created because one of my clients was actually going on mat leave, and she had a spa owner that was actually that needed support. They were weak on their leadership, and she didn't have time to actually write out documentation. I have a colleague who has worked in a really big facility as far as a spa manager. I've worked with her before. And so her and I collaborated, and we created this amazing spa manager manual that's essentially a protocol book for spa owners and their leadership team. It's broken down into protocols managers will need for the team, protocols managers will need for clients, for inventory, and for business structure. So if you're like, I've been dreaming of a spa manager manual, I didn't know one existed, then please feel free to reach out to me. I don't have it for sale anywhere on my website. It's just basically contact me. I will connect you with some more information about it. It's a really great document. It's around 30 pages. On top of that, it's got tons and tons of resources like, let's see, what is in there? There are interview protocols, there are training examples, there are team meeting agenda templates. There just goes on and on and on. It's literally handing it over to you so that you've got the system and the structure to support your spa leadership so that you're not feeling like you're always in the dark and trying to figure it out on your own. There's no need. Don't reinvent the wheel. There's no need. All right. So I hope that makes you feel a bit better in terms of spa leadership and the practicalities of being a leader and the realities of being a leader. And I hope that if you have been feeling down on yourself, that you see now that A, that's not happening. B, it's actually not true. You're not a bad leader. And C, there's opportunities and action steps for you to take that are quite easy in order to set up those systems and structure. So don't suffer needlessly. I want you to be able to enjoy some of your summer and have a little bit of freedom and not just feel like you got your business all up in your head and it's stressing you out. That's the last thing I want for you. Okay, so that is it for today's Spa Business Mastery. If you're not already following us on our podcast or any of our platforms, give us a follow. And if you have any questions about spa leadership and spa management, please shoot me an email. It's Kirsten@KirstenFoss.com, or you can DM me on any of my social platforms. Take good care, and the next Spa Business Mastery podcast will be Spa Marketing with Delia. We'll see you then.